can't get in.
I understand. Hey, everyone. Greetings. It looks like Ben's coming. We're having a few technical difficulties getting things set up. So give us a couple of seconds to formally get started, if you wouldn't mind. There's Benjamin.
Is that working? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll leave
Bye, Mark.
I'll leave you guys to it. Bye,
All
guys.
right.
Fantastic.
Hey, thanks.
Someone who spends my life in the technical world, sometimes I get befuddled by technology.
Yes, I understand. It's quite okay, Ben.
Fantastic.
Are you using a microphone at this point? It's your sound and my sound are very different.
You have to use the headphone.
I don't think that's working. Tap it.
How about now?
There we go.
Is that working now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Very good. Yay!
Like I said, befuddled by technology.
I understand. I've been there.
Oh, goodness me.
That's life, and everybody hopefully understands that's the world these days. I mean, how many Zoom rooms have you been in where somebody's going, my microphone's not working, or my camera, and you spend 5 minutes working on that. So
Understand it. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes.
hear me? Am
Yes.
I coming through?
yeah,
Like I literally just did myself.
it's okay,
man.
Ben. Great to have you here, Benjamin.
Good to be back.
For those of you who don't know, I'm going to do a quick introduction. Benjamin is the product manager for UpViral. I love Ben. Ben's entire team. I love everybody on these teams because they're doing great stuff for us.
Doing our best.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Mitch. I run a website called giveawayrocket.com. There is a case study about me over on the UpViral site about how I've gathered over 250,000 leads for myself and clients. So jump over there and read that because I'm awesome and modest.
You are rather awesome, Mitch. And very, very, very modest.
Very modest. So we're here today. Mark was here briefly, and then he's disappeared to go do more awesome work himself. But Benjamin is joining us on this particular co-pilot show because we have some new stuff.
Yes. After it seems like an eternity, releasing an update to our reporting dashboard, also an update to our custom actions modals, and another small little update to how to manage points for signups and stuff like that. And maybe if we have time, I might tease a few things that are coming down the line. Maybe.
So all of that is freaking awesome. Believe me, I'm excited. I'm excited about the little things too, but the points thing, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
I hope it makes everyone as happy as you.
Well, I've been fighting with that one for years, and so that tiny little change is going to change a lot of things for people because I think it'll be a lot more clear. But let's dive into the main features you wanted to talk about.
Okay, so let me just one moment, just because technology, and I had to get everything set up. Okay, so
look at that, you're sharing.
Hey, everything's working. Technology is fantastic.
It's awesome.
Okay, so this is the new reporting dashboard. It's been quite some time. I know that our old reporting wasn't great. The interim reporting wasn't great. Hopefully this, I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. The whole goal with the reporting was to try and give users actionable information. So you can look at the information, look at the reports and go, oh, I can see where I need to do a little bit of work and go and do it.
Yes.
That's the whole goal. So I'll just quickly run through just some of this demo data just to lay out kind of what's there. And then Mitch, just ask questions as
me ask questions. I will highlight, and I see this right off the bat. Uh-oh. And Benjamin just left the room, even though it said Mitch Andre just left the room. If you saw that, you probably didn't see that because that was only on my side. So isn't technology fun? What I was trying to say when Benjamin comes back and I'm assuming he will come back quickly. But the data that he was just showing you is test data. Be careful about what you see in what he's doing. And I don't know if you guys know this. I was a software developer for 32 years for a company called Boeing. You might have heard of them. And so I have a lot of experience in terms of working with technology and developing software. And so that's one of the reasons why I get so involved in trying to help Benjamin and the team to create stuff, is because I know actually how the stuff that they're doing, not the modern technology. I was laid off in 2010, so it's been quite a while since that happened. I'm going to message Ben in the backside. Hope you can get back. I will start my own demo because I've been through this already. I've been working with Benjamin and the team for a couple of weeks on this, so I too am very excited about that. But one of the things, if you saw it in the upper left-hand corner on his screen, there was like a conversion rate of 164%. That's test data. Don't get too confused, because technically you should never have a conversion rate over 100%, right? So don't get confused if Benjamin comes back and is able to fix it. But he will dive right in. What I'm going to do is I'm opening my UpViral, and I'm selecting a campaign. Let's see. I don't want to use an older campaign. I want to use one that is live. But oh, here he comes. Hi.
So I was going really well through that presentation. I went, why is Mitch not asking me any questions?
Oh, you didn't know you left, huh?
I didn't know I'd left.
We were just at the beginning of that. So you were on the main page. I'm sorry. And okay. What I did explain to them while you were gone, by the way, is that I noticed right off the bat that the stat that was in the upper left-hand corner was 164% on conversions. So I was explaining to them that what you have in front of you is test data, and it may not be as kosher as real data, but now you can move back in. Starting over.
Okay, let's try that one again.
It's all right. Eugene, what is the topic? Is the new reporting system, and Benjamin is the product manager for UpViral, so he's going to show us some great stuff. Oh, yes. You changed campaigns?
I've just done a date range.
You were on 30 days. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I just did a date range. It'll update the data, because where I got to was to talk about previous period. So when you have an ongoing campaign, you date range it sort of the last 15 days, last 30 days. And if it's been going for 60 days or whatever, you can start to see, well, am I getting more visits? So this particular campaign is 57% up in visits, but I'm down in leads. So it's starting to give you a little bit more actionable information. See our conversion rates, referral visits. It will automatically update. So last 30 days or the previous month, and it will automatically update for the period. I've selected this period. It'll do the same amount of time previous to that. So 30 days, previous 30, 15 days, previous 15. So you can see it updates. We have our top 3 traffic sources. So we have our referred visits, leads, conversion rate, and our total, which is it's bite size. The top 3 traffic sources combines both direct and a referral, and it tells you the source. The node tracking ID is something that I am working on. I want to get rid of that as quickly as I possibly can. We have plans on a new analytics engine that will give us a little bit more detail. So over the coming months, the quality of data that we're going to be able to put out is going to increase dramatically. And the speed at which it loads too is also going to increase. We can see our top 5 social shares, and if there were custom actions in this account, which there's not, you'd see the total custom actions. So what is the total interactions? Say Facebook share is doing really well, and custom action X is doing really well.
Right.
And then you get my screen resolution's a bit funky on here, but of the total emails, so the notification emails that are sent out, sign-ups and incentives, how many has been sent, what's the open rate percentage, stuff like that. So it's more just bite-sized, quick, what's going on in my campaign? Is there anything bad happening? When we start to drill down, we get into the traffic page, and it's split out in direct, referred, and conversion data. You can see that we have some modals pop up, and it starts to give me, well, here's 37 visits and 37 direct visits, 2 leads came from here. And in my referred, you'll see that Facebook's pop up, and we've got 2. So it starts to drill down. The more data you get, the bigger it gets, and the more detail you can get into it. And of course, the conversion by source. I'll move into the actions. So we have split up, and again, I wish I had an account with custom actions. We've split up total the social sharing and your custom actions into 2 discrete information sections. And thank you, Mitch. I know that that's something you were very, very pushing for. Make this happen. So we made it happen.
Yes.
So you can see that the total number of social shares, this is Facebook shares, Twitter shares, all of these standard social stuff, and how many leads have actually interacted with your social. And you can start to go, Facebook is a very, very common, easy one for people to go to. And total actions is your custom actions. So again, you can see a perfect example would be if you have a lot of Facebook and a lot of Messenger social action happening, it might be worth pushing a custom action out to get people to join your Facebook page or share an image or tag someone. It's something that's Facebook related. And you can start to split test out, well, Facebook's doing well on social, let's get more interaction in the custom. And we'll talk more about custom shares in a bit. Custom action, sorry. The leads tab gives you a little bit more drill down. I'm going to zoom out a bit. It gives you let's do all time. So it looks nice and big and wiggly.
Wiggly.
So wiggly's good. You can start to see day by day. In this case, it is by month because it's a long period, but you can start to see day by day how well visits and leads are doing. We have direct. So you've got your conversion rate down the bottom. You can see, we had a high conversion rate day here. I wonder what happened at that point. And break it again, break it out direct, referral, and then I can see the total. So this is the total visitors, total leads, everything done by day. So you see there was a lot of visitors, but very few leads. So a lot of money was spent there, but nothing happened.
Right.
Yet at the very start, done leads and very little traffic. So
right. And don't forget down at the bottom is the conversion rate. So you can see how your conversion rate changes over time.
Yeah, exactly. You start to see some trends happening. It's a good idea if you're doing any paid marketing to note dates on when you're doing specific campaigns. So then you can come back and go, well, during this particular period, I saw this conversion because I was doing that campaign. And you can start to correlate a little bit. It does really help.
Right.
Notifications, we're currently doing only email notifications, but over time we may end up doing SMS or push or other types of notification options. It's everything's planned. You can see the total number of emails sent, how many open, how many unopened. You can see I have my unopened and opened rate here. And then for every single notification you have, you'll see them all listed. Again, my screen res is a bit funky, but you'll see them all listed here. So if I had multiple incentive emails, I would see them listed here and their open rate and stuff like that. The good thing about having open rate at this page, especially for your incentives, is you can see that where you're getting drop off or, you're sending 200 emails, but your open rate, is not great, So let's say 53%. It's not a great open rate. It could be better, an unopened rate. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously I need to work on it. So it's the referral sign up. So maybe I need to split test the subject line. Maybe I need to try different email options. At least I'm starting to get some feedback that will help and drive the
Right.
campaign forward.
Before you go anywhere else, I just want
Yeah,
to just have to say, if you think about the fact that if you go back, to the people out there, if you think about the fact that your open rates on your emails that you send to your list is probably somewhere in the range of 10 to 30%, getting an open rate 53%, even though we said, oh, that's a little bit low, this is freaking awesome because people want to know about your campaign. So they're paying attention to what you're sending out.
Exactly.
That's why we love UpViral.
Yes, absolutely. And one other little change, we're moving away from lead fraud, and we're moving into lead health. The reason we're doing health is we're going to start trying to give more information on what is the quality of the leads that you are getting. How can what is, you can start to make predictions on, well, what is the return I'm going to get from these? So rather than just fraud, it is about how is the health of them. You can see in this campaign, they've got 18,000 healthy leads, which means they passed through. There was no IP issues. There was no problems with the deliverability, and 802 unhealthy. Currently we have same IP address and too many referrals as the unhealthy options. We will release the ability to add more very soon, quite soon.
Yes.
So you can get a lot better drill down, and you'll start to understand where the unhealthy leads are coming from.
And this is I'm interrupting you because
No.
I have to say this. This is why I love Ben so much. The fact that he is thinking about all these things, and it's just the whole team, right? Obviously, they're all working together. But the idea of switching even just from fraud, which sounds very negative, to lead health gives you an idea that Ben's really interested in helping us figure out how to make our campaigns better. Just thinking about that little bit of the way Ben thinks is a game shifter for me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's UpViral's prerogative to not only just deliver a platform. I mean, platform's a platform, but how can we make the platform do as much work and give you as much information to make you as successful as possible? Because that's the goal. I mean, if you're successful, we're successful. It's, black and white.
Let me also say one other thing. I know a lot of the people out there in the old system just used to go look at their conversion rate and how many leads came in. When I've started teaching people to go in and look at these reports and show them the detail like you're kind of going through here, and get them to understand what they could use that data for, their minds are exploded and they go, holy cow, you mean I can look at this data and figure out that I need to do, like you said earlier, to do more Facebook stuff because that's where people are currently reacting? Yes, that's the joy of reports.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to have a ton of data. But the data just needs to give you actionable, like something like a step. It's like we could just go, here's an Excel spreadsheet. What are you going to do with that? How does it tell you, well, what should I go and do next? And that's the goal. So I'm going to keep driving more data in here that gives people a step. What can I do next? Yeah.
And I liken it much to Google Analytics. Google Analytics has a ton of data, but nobody knows how to use it because it's all, it's ugly.
Yeah,
so this is so much better.
Yeah, I'm glad. So that is the update to the reporting. I'm pretty happy with it. It's taken the team a lot of work. We still have, we're going to continue iterating out. I think some of the users out there, even yourself, Mitch, have noticed that yes, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. That is a fantastic quote. I just saw the comment, AJ.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that we are starting to try and iterate out development and features a lot more rather than sitting and build and then just wait and then release. There's been some big releases, but from now it's more about, well, how do we change it? How do we update? How can we make it better? The feedback we get, how can we turn that into making it easier, more functional? Like and it's this constant iteration process. So in reporting especially, you will see a lot of little changes happening over time. Just better data, more breakout of data, maybe a new chart here and there, or new visualization of that information, new ways of manipulating the data. So I'm really looking forward to how that will work out.
And the key there that you said, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting because this is great stuff. People out there, when you're starting to look at this stuff and you see something that could be improved, send them some feedback. Let them know that this feature is important and maybe there's another way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Hotjar, so we have this little thing down here, rate the experience, let's go neutral, and then you can take a screenshot. Let me know, did this element here make you happy or sad or angry? Like, let us know. I read everything that comes in. I read the Facebook groups. I talk with the customer service team. I get emails. I read I read everything that comes in. Because that's the only way we can make a better product.
Yep.
But you need to tell us.
Yep.
So I'm going to now move on to an update of custom actions. Actually, while I'm on this page, I will talk about the points referrals, just because it's super quick. Okay, so we have removed one of the fields, which makes it easy to understand. Points and referrals. You can give points when, let's say I have a campaign and Mitch is signing up to my campaign. I'm going to give Mitch 5 points. And then anyone that Mitch refers and signs up, I'll give Mitch 10 points. Now, the key is I want to incentivize Mitch to get as many referrals as possible. So 5 for signing up, fine, or 10 or 15, whatever. But a smaller number for sign up, a higher number for referrals, you're going to incentivize Mitch to get people to sign up. And that's it. That's the extent of points. You can, if you want to incentivize, if I wanted to say, you know what, Mitch, I'm going to give you a little extra incentive. I will give you 1 point for every visitor you send to the page. However, that is optional.
Right.
Completely up to you. But
game changer.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had referral sign up, and it took me a long time to understand even the concept behind why we had that breakout. So it took me a long time, and I work here. So
yeah.
So
this is so much better, and I love you for implementing this. I've been begging for this for a long time because the old way was so confusing, and this is so much better. It was, and look, even Wilco was like, he pulled me aside the other week, and he was like, "I thought you would have updated that earlier." So it's a long time coming. I should have done this a long time ago. So my apologies. It's okay. We're happy now. Moving forwards. Moving forwards. Now, you may also notice that custom actions is now at the top. It was a sidebar. We've moved it to the top, just as a nice little thing. Okay, let's add a custom action. The custom actions has been broken down into multiple stages, and we're just compiling things into a do this step, then this step, then this step, just to make it a little easier. So just like before, you figure out, well, what is the action I want them to take? You can either type in what you want, do this thing, that's it, this thing, or I'm pretty happy with, you can use our creator builder. So share a link on, let's say, Facebook. Great. Okay, so, I saw my social actions from Facebook were trending. I'll do something more on Facebook. So you can see that now you have instructions. Go here and do that thing that you will do, exclamation point. Nice. You can see that we've already pre-filled in the Facebook. I would then put in my my URL. Oh, my typing's appalling. It's okay. And then I'll give it the points. Next step. Okay. So at this point, you need a confirmation question. How do you know that they are doing that action that you are setting them to do? There are two things you can do. You can either just let them go wild and answer anything. It could be, how old are you? Is this a confirmation? No. Is this information that maybe you wanted? Yes. So you can do a little hack and use question
collection as a custom action. Answer the question. It's completely up to you. There's a bit of flexibility. Alternatively, we can say, what is the first letter of Facebook? And we can do one answer is correct. So we're giving them a multiple choice. We've limited it to 4 just to make it easier, and it just works a bit better. Any more, it starts to get overwhelming. We didn't see any use cases for more than 4 for a correct answer. So in this case, we'll do A, B, Z, and of course, F. And F is the correct answer, so I will make it a correct answer. We've added the ability to show an alert if they get it wrong. So this means that instead of someone just making a choice and going through to the next phase, you can make sure that they say, oh, no, it's wrong. So that's wrong. Next, we'll already do a little bit of customization. So it's the Facebook blue, it's the Facebook icon. We can see that this is pretty much what they'll see on the widgets and the pages. And I want to test. So all I have to do is click. And this is what the user will see. They'll see the link, they'll see the information, what is the first letter of Facebook, and they will go A, no, B, no, correct, and confirm. And that is the experience that they will have in the custom action. Add the custom action, and of course, it broke.
I saw this morning, actually. I was going to tell you about it, but
okay.
It mostly works. I've tested this multiple times. I don't know what you did wrong that time, but it does work.
I've been having issues all day. Known bug. Either way, that's how the custom actions will work.
The good news, folks, is that Ben can figure out what the problem is, and he can fix it so quickly now, as opposed to waiting for 3 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever.
Yes, yeah. So the team is working. There's a few issues we know that's popped up, just like that. Just we've seen there's a little issue and logging people out, stuff like that. So we know the issues. The team's already on it. We've highly prioritized that. Now that we've sort of getting out these big changes, we're starting to focus on how do we make UpViral more stable as a technology platform as well. So that's coming up. Yeah. So
do you want to answer a couple of questions?
Yeah, let's please.
All right. Julie asked, hey, Ben, Mitch, are you going to update the how-to videos for UpViral?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So in the knowledge base, I'm updating videos in the knowledge base, and we will, now that we've kind of got this big release out, the introduction emails, videos will update as well. But the knowledge base in the bottom right corner, you can do a question in there. Those are updated, and they'll be updated constantly. Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, that's the answer.
I mean, understandably, I think all of y'all out there know that there's been a lot of updates, and there's a lot of training videos that could be updated. And as I was telling people while you were gone for a little bit, that I was a software developer, so I know all about the pain and joy of updating the user manual, so to speak, when you've made major changes. And it's even more challenging right now because you're implementing changes kind of on the fly, and therefore you kind of have to make a decision about, well, when are we going to actually put the time and effort into updating video XYZ when we know that's going to change in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, or whatever.
Yeah. So now that we've got reporting and custom actions and the campaign creation flow out, those have been a long time coming, but now those major releases are done, we can start to get the those videos started to update, because any updates that happen now for these sections are just kind of iterations. So we add a little thing here and there, add a little thing here and there. It won't have a big effect. So that's kind of what we've been waiting on. So
right. I understand. Growing back, will there be a JV function? Let me explain. Say I'm running a contest for a product. I get JVs to promote the contest, but their affiliate link is attributed to the people who join the contest from their link. So you get the idea. It goes on.
So it's kind of a hard one, trying to track a cookie within a cookie. That becomes a little difficult. I'm going to say it's possible. When we update our analytics engine, that will give us the opportunity to do more referral tracking for stuff that we haven't created, where we can pull in that additional information. So at this point, I can't say absolutely, but I know that it's a common request, and it is something that I'm pretty confident we can do, but until we kind of get there, I'm not quite sure. So I know that's a terrible answer, but
would you be? I mean, you mentioned the updating the analytics engine. Yeah. Can you explain a little bit more about what that is? Because I'm like, we just got an update for reports. What do you mean updating the analytics? I'm just trying to simplify it for people so they can grasp where you're going. So
consider it like this. Currently, UpViral, the database is like one giant Excel spreadsheet. I'm simplifying, but just consider it one giant Excel spreadsheet. Now, we write information into that spreadsheet on, visitors and basic information like IP addresses and other bits of data where we can go, you are this person, you visited this campaign, and here's the information related to that. So over time, that database becomes massive. And when we start to query reports, as you can see, it took a little bit of time for some of the reports to update. What we're doing is we're going back to this massive Excel spreadsheet and we're asking it, hey, I want to know all of the data for this campaign between this date and this date, give it to me.
Right.
And it takes time. So one of the things we're doing is changing the way that we're recording that tracking data. So instead of just throwing it into a spreadsheet, we're using a different tool. And this tool allows us to capture a lot more information in it's called a JSON format. Basically, it's like a Facebook message, like the messaging, right? So instead of just a big spreadsheet, it's just a big list of messages that, because of the way technology works, you can query it faster. You can add a ton more data. Right. And it will just make our ability to track, time spent on site, where did they come from? What keywords did they use to get there? Geographic. And then, down the pipe when we've released a few things, it's like if you want to pop up someone's been on the page for 35 seconds and then you want to pop up the widget, hey, join our thing. We can start to do that type of thing. It just gives us a lot more flexibility rather than just writing to a spreadsheet. So
you mean to tell me that in the future we might be able to see a report that says the vast majority of your people are coming from Asia?
Yes.
Bing!
Yeah.
Light bulbs. Light bulbs start going off.
Yeah. So it's similar to, but not as advanced as Google Analytics. So it's similar to, same concept of data, like geographic, location. We could do language. We can do time on site. We can do quite a number of things. So over the coming months, this involves the team and I have been doing a lot of thinking about the architecture of UpViral. So it's anyone could just make a product, but now that we are focusing on building something really big and stable and we can keep iterating out features and functions, we need to consider the architecture on which it sits.
Right.
And part of that is, well, how can we do analytics better? How can we do data management better? How can we do it so it allows you to manipulate the information better, or just it happens? Or maybe you can do your reports on your mobile phone, things like that. So there's this. It's not just here's a feature. It's here's a feature. Oh, and we've spent 2 months re-architecting this and that. So
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are paying attention really in depth about what he's talking about, but for those of us who love reports, love data, what he's talking about is just mind blowing. Absolutely glorious to be able to get in and look at your campaign. And again, we don't want you, I don't want you, but none of my students go in and just look at those leads anymore. What they do is they look at where are the people going? What are they doing on your campaign? Are they not signing up? What's my conversion rate? We had one campaign where the conversion rate was 7% on people that came from his email list. And we sat and we talked about it for 20 minutes, just diving into that one statistic to try to figure out whether that was a good number. I mean, most people would look at a conversion rate on a campaign and say, well, 7% on direct people coming from his email list would be horrible results. But we talked about it. We talked about what the campaign did, and we analyzed, and 7% was a good number. Now, on his particular campaign, he was getting 3.3 people for every person that signed up on the front end. Now, that's glorious, but we dove into those numbers, and he's now like, he's AJ that was here earlier. He's like, holy cow, Mitch, I've never thought about this stuff in that way, and I can make a better campaign next time because I've gone in and looked at that, as opposed to just looking at the number. Well, I got 55 leads, and this data is glorious.
Another thing, like with geographic, and again, using the data, let's say you have geographic tagging and you see that there's a lot of users coming in from the Philippines. You're getting a high direct traffic, but very little leads, and a large amount are coming from the Philippines. Well, maybe you've got something showing in the Philippines and they're not converting. So then you can go into your campaign, you can block Philippines from where it's showing, and suddenly your data starts to look a bit better and things start to work a bit better. And you might save a bit of money. And it's all just by having that information, allowing you to go, that's not right. Click, now I've made the change.
Yes, exactly. One of the things, by the way, that I'm starting to focus more on, and you and I haven't talked about this yet, but some of what you're talking about is looking at the people who are leaving and not signing up. That's the kind of stuff that I'm starting to focus more on, because I know we can convert, say we can on average get 30% of the people that hit my landing page to convert. What about the 70%? What is causing those people to leave? And that's, I mean, because we want 100% of the people to sign up, right?
Of course, yeah.
So that's one of the things that I'm starting to do a little bit more looking at, and I'm excited to see the data. You know, I mean, you know, I'm excited about this stuff. I get so fired up about it. But if you don't look at the data, and I preach about this all the time, if you're not looking at the data, you can't make a better campaign either now while you're running it or later on.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited about this stuff.
Yes, same. Shall we, let's answer some questions.
Okay. You want me to stop bragging about stuff? All right.
That's all right. Fred,
Natasha said, okay,
oh no, you go.
You be patient. I'll lead.
I want to answer things.
Natasha, which was a private message to me, but it's everybody asks this. Can trainings like these be found online through the product? The answer is yes. Inside of your training section, I've forgotten what it's called, on the dashboard, go into the training section and you can see the previous Copilot shows there. They're added to your tool. They're also on YouTube if you want to go over to UpViral's YouTube channel, and they're in the Facebook group. So they're in 3 different places. Halia asks, will we be able to have an added additional person to an account? Like, I mean, I know we've talked about it briefly. When the old conversation was happening, well, there's 2 reasons for that. One may be a VA, and the other would be to have, and you and I have talked about this somewhat, the ability to have a user come in and look at the reports without touching everything else.
Yeah. It's not something that we have planned in the near future, unfortunately. I do have a plan for being able to provide a export of the report, a nice export of the report that you can PDF.
Right.
But the second user, and it really just comes down to, again, it's that architecture of how users are managed in the database. And it's quite a large amount of work to allow 2 people access or multiple people access, because then you need to set up like permissions, and it becomes quite a large task. So it's definitely in the works, especially down the road when we start looking at agency.
Right.
But it's not anytime in the near future.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Fred's question: is it possible to add points to custom actions through the API? For example, someone completes a course and they can come back and get 15 points to their account.
Through the API. Off the top of my head, I don't think that's possible.
Not in the current one.
Yeah. However, again, part of this re-architecting is we have just deployed a new API backend. And this gives us the ability to upgrade our outbound and inbound API,
right?
To give it a lot more flexibility. So today, no, but that is something that we will have a big upgrade to that endpoint, to the APIs, along with Zapier as well. So right. It's coming. Not at the moment. It is coming. I want to be able to open the APIs more. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Great answer. Thank you very much for that. Let me back up and answer Fred's question. The answer is today in the API, you can add points to the other bucket. So there's a bucket inside of UpViral for other. I have a friend of mine has tested being able to add points, and they go into the other bucket, and they're just added to whatever's there before. So in the other bucket, if there's 100 points and you add 15, then it shows 115 points. If I have my input to that, I'd love to be able to see exactly every transaction, because I want to be able to later on go, well, those 15 points came from user X completing course XYZ. Right now, having a general bucket it's good, but it's not good enough for us to do tracking on the back end.
Yeah.
But yes, Fred, you can do that right now today.
Yeah. And like I said, it is something I definitely want. I want to be able to open up the APIs, because I'd like to see a bit of an ecosystem build around the product. The more open we can get, the more other developers can go, I'm going to build a little tool that works with it. And it just starts to build a little ecosystem. That's something I'd like to see, which is, Richard, kind of that thing that's in development that answers your question. One of the things.
Yes. So you're just talking about Richard's question. Is there a teaser you can add? He asked you if there's a teaser. You've added a lot of teasers, but
yeah, there's a lot in here. There's a lot here. Listen back. I've been dropping little bits and hints as I go.
Yes. Peter asked, is all this cool stuff live yet? The reports, everything he showed you is live.
Yep, it's live.
So yes, we have seen that. Let me scroll back. Cal asked the question earlier. Cal.
Hang on, sorry. Is it Uli?
Yeah.
ULI? Yes, it is. We're using Elastic. That's absolutely bang on. Nice work figuring that one out.
I don't know. I don't see that one. That one must be somewhere.
It's above Natasha.
Okay. I was going way back. Carl, you asked a question earlier about affiliate stuff. I think that was answered. I just want to make sure that I've been accused of not answering all the questions. So I want to make sure I try to get to all the questions. And what I'm doing is I'm marking them as questions and then unmarking them when they've been answered.
Okay, yes.
Mark asked a way long time ago, does UpViral track who referred who, not just points? The answer is yes.
Yes.
UpViral does do that. By the way, if you haven't explored the export, you guys should go look at the data export, because there's a lot of stuff that gets exported that is hard to somewhat see inside the backend dashboard. Like what Benjamin was talking about before, you can use the answers in custom actions to gather data about people. All that data comes to you in the export. You can see it in the dashboard if you click on each individual person to see their answers, but that's a royal pain in the you-know-what. But if you do the export, you get all that data in a CSV. You can bring it into Excel or whatever your spreadsheet of tool is, of use, whatever I'm trying to say. But there's a lot of data in there, and use that. Paul asked, the Facebook group is UpViral, but the quality of the replays is poor. YouTube is better. I've not paid any attention. But I do attest that Facebook's video quality is not the best.
Not so great. Yeah. Cole, are you switching to a NoSQL? I'm liking the tech questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you switching to a NoSQL database? We were considering moving to Mongo. However, we are doing a blend of NoSQL and Elastic, and we're using Amazon Aurora for the SQL databasing. For anyone that's just likes that information.
I love that kind of stuff. I need to get the referred by field into a Google Sheet in a Zap. Edgar, I was just talking about the export. You can get that data in an export. I also believe that it is in the API because I think I tested that. I think that today's API, you can do a query on somebody and find out who was referred by. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's in there.
We are in the process of updating Zapier as well. So that's currently in process that we're going to upgrade the Zapier to. So if you're a bit of a Zapier king or queen or whoever, however you identify, a Zapier person, I don't know, a Zapierite, they might like some of the stuff that's coming out there. I'm crazy about that. I use Zapier for everything.
Do you really?
Yeah, Zapier and if this then that. My whole home automation. Yeah, so I use a lot of home automation. Yeah. So like Google this, Google that, and Google this, and light bulbs, and because I'm a total child.
Nice.
I want to live in the future, man. But I use like if this and that to turn stuff on.
So you should know that the lights that I have back here, I did not buy the version that is updatable by that method. So I was like, damn, why did I do that? Are you also updating Integromat when you're doing Zapier? Because I like Integromat myself.
All of the APIs that we are currently integrated with, we are updating. Every single API, if you remember, I mentioned a little bit earlier about we have a new API backend. We are updating every connection that we've got. There are some connections that we will no longer support. It's just because we have 80 different APIs supported. We are going to probably sunset a few that have no users or very few users. And we are going to try, we're moving everything over to the new system, as well as trying to update. So new methods, new calls, new options, as well as anywhere that we can do an authentication, username and password, we are going to move to that over, go and get your API key and go and get all of this sort of stuff. So integrations is, again, something we're slowly trying to roll out. It's just a pretty big task for the team.
So if I were to, in the future, when you update these things, could I create my own dashboard such that if I wanted to set up my own version of reports, that I could go get all of the data for a campaign? Or is that too much to ask?
That's not coming for some time. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the reports are what you see is what you get. They're a bit WYSIWYG.
Okay. Dang. But that being said, I mean, I could export the data and I could use the data that's inside of the export, which I am doing for some of my reports with Excel and numbers and that kind of stuff.
Well, when we update our APIs, there's no reason that you can't, I mean, because reporting will just be, we will have an exposed endpoint for the APIs for reporting.
Right.
So there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to do your own report queries. So if you're going to use another service, that you can connect to the API to do whatever dashboarding, that's certainly within the realms of possibility.
Okay, good. Jen asked, not sure if you covered this or not, for email open rates, will we eventually be able to see which emails and or who opened the emails? Like if I go into the lead section and I open Mitch entered my campaign, can I see that Mitch opened email 1, email 2, email 3 or not? Down to an individual level.
At the moment, I don't believe that's possible.
I've asked that question, by the way, for years because I'd love to be able to see whether or not Betty Lou opened my emails or not.
I don't believe we have that level of granular tracking on emails.
That's what I was always told, yes.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
It is a great question. I do believe that with the new analytics, that is something we can do that does come, that we may be able to get that granular level with open rates and email opens. I'm pretty confident that's possible. So don't hold me to it, but it's something that we'll try.
All right. I have a quick question. If I have double opt-in turned on, there's a group of people that never see the opt-in email and never join my campaign. Is there going to be an ability to email those people to say, by the way, you haven't opened your confirmation email? Right now, they end up in a bucket and nobody can ever touch them.
Yeah, probably not. That would start to kind of move us into more customized emails. And it's a weird point of if we can start doing customized emails, it starts opening up, and not you, Mitch, but other people, where they can start to exploit the email servers for potentially nefarious means.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but all I'm really talking about is like a button that says, email everybody that hasn't opened their confirmation again. I mean, it's...
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry, I misread.
I don't want to customize anything. I just want to send them the confirmation email again.
Can you send me?
Yes.
Send me a thing, and
I will do that.
Yeah.
Richard asks, is there any insight on Facebook's warning that they might withdraw services from Europe due to EU order that Facebook cannot transfer data from Europe back to the USA? I don't know anything about that. I've not heard about
So I read this today. There's a lot of pushback on Facebook. Like in Australia with the Facebook news, they're starting to push back. There's a lot of pushback. As far as we know, no, we don't get any information. From what I've read, I think it will probably blow over, or Facebook have data centers all through the EU. So I think it's just a matter of them updating sort of the location of where the data lands. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay. Semi-related question from Steve Thailand. Does custom domain simply redirect to UpViral?
Custom domains. Custom domains do only redirect to UpViral. So you have to create a subdomain, and then you have to create the campaign, identify the campaign, such as Mitch at whatever your domain is. Then you can forward that to our landing page. That's for a custom domain. The same function works for a custom referral link as well. So yes, it does direct to us, but it's not just simply. It works for a referral URL and for the custom domain. A little update on this. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
A little update. So I know that there is a ton of problems with setting up custom domains. There's so many different domain DNS providers and domain providers. There are so many different formats and settings that it's quite difficult for a lot of users to set up correctly. So we are in the process of, there will be two systems. There will be the current system where it is, here is the instructions. If you know how to do a subdomain and redirect an IP and on your DNS, there's the information, but we don't support that. It's here's the information and go. We will have supported using Cloudflare. So if you're aware of Cloudflare, it is super easy. It actually gives you a lot of benefit to any website. And all you'll have to do is create a free Cloudflare account, update your domain name to Cloudflare, and that's it. And then when you want to do a custom domain, you'll log into your Cloudflare account, and we will do everything via API. So
Nice.
it does everything.
Nice.
So that'll be a supported function. It is free. And the benefits you get from Cloudflare are actually pretty good. You get a free CDN, so your sites run faster. You get botnet protection. You get a ton of protection, all for free. So Cloudflare is fantastic. So that's something. Just it's a common problem for users. So.
Yes, and I absolutely love it. Now, I won't go into any details. I build a custom domain, and all of my clients and all my students build a custom domain. It's absolutely worth the pain to do it. Linda says, please, can you include Kajabi in the API? I don't know that I know what that means.
I think Kajabi is a autoresponder.
It does a lot of things. Kajabi does an autoresponder. It does learning systems. It does it lets you build a website. So I'm not sure I understand. Kajabi is listed as a supported autoresponder, but I'm not sure, Linda, what you mean by.
I don't think we do have Kajabi supported.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Katra Clavio click.
Oh.
Nope.
So that's probably what she means.
Yes.
I thought it was supported, but I guess it's not. Interesting. That's not an API. That's an autoresponder.
It's possible. If we have enough requests for it, then we will support it. But we are in the process of trying to pare down the volume of services we support, just so we can give better support to what we've got. That's why we're expanding Zapier. So anything we don't directly support, it'll be supported through Zapier with an expanded Zapier option.
So, all right. So Lauren says, I've asked several times for UpViral to be connected to Kajabi. Interesting. I know Kajabi is very popular with e-learning systems. A lot of people I know have moved their courses over to Kajabi. It's a big deal. So
interesting.
Richard,
Mitch, GDPR legally, it's not allowed. GDPR says it's not allowed to send a second email to a user requesting to validate. That's interesting. I'm going to check that out.
I agree. That's interesting, but GDPR. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
GDPR does that. And whatever the California one is too.
Yes. I don't know what it's called. Yes.
Yeah, Cloudflare, free SSL.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to do any of that junk. It's great.
All right. So I've asked several times, is Cloudflare Connect? Oh, Gigi's question. Where'd it go? I just started with Connect Retarget. What is the best way to use that with UpViral? Actually, that's a conversation that Mark and I had yesterday about a topic that we should do for the Copilot show, because that's not a simple question, Gigi. That's like a way of connecting Facebook ads to UpViral, and actually Connect Leads is a better opportunity for connecting those two directly. And both of those are topics that Mark and I are talking about doing for an entire show, because there's some integration there. So we can't, I'm sorry, but I can't give you a quick, hey, here's how you do that answer in this kind of format. That's like an hour-long conversation.
Yeah. CCPA, Richard says, CCPA. That's
that's what it is.
That's the Californian one.
Yeah. All right. So I don't see any other major questions. I think we've covered them all.
So do you have any, Mitch?
Well, I asked you. I've got lots of. And bless your heart. Thank you again for putting up with me, because I put in a lot of suggestions and I don't always win every time I ask. It's shocking.
Well, it's the good ones. The good ones win.
Yeah. Now you just told me that some of the things I suggest aren't good.
Oh, what's that? Oh, it connection's going.
Yeah. I would. I mean, one of the things I'm thinking about in terms of, for example, would be really freaking cool, would be to like have a pop-up on if somebody decides to leave. Now I can implement this on with an external tool, but it would be kind of fun if UpViral did it, and in terms of talking about what we were talking about before. But if somebody leaves or is preparing to leave, to have an exit intent pop-up that said, would you mind telling us why you've decided not to sign up? I don't know what the response rate would be on something like that, but there are tools that I could probably implement that with.
It is. So part of we technically can do exit intent pop-ups. Technically, we can do them. The problem is, I struggle to see a use case where giving an exit intent pop-up for signing into or signing up for a promotion would actually get a user to sign up for a promotion.
Okay, so hold on a second, Ben.
Do you know what I mean? Like I
time out.
Oh,
you are freezing. Oh, and now he's gone. And now he's gone. Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, your video disappeared. You froze, and we couldn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, hang on. Technology will not fail me now. I'll get there.
I can hear you.
All right. We're almost there. A few more seconds. Hang on. Almost there. Oh God.
It's all right. What is it? A battery problem?
You can tell I do this for a living. Huh?
Yeah, we all do this for a living. I get it.
I don't know what. Okay. I shut down the terminal, and I open the terminal.
Terminal? Oh my gosh, what's that?
I'm a Linux man.
Oh, that's back in the days when I used to do coding. You still there?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what's going on. Hang on.
All right. Let's just go with the audio. You're all right. So Steve Thailand's question, can I award a prize each week in a campaign? I know the answer to this. What's Ben's answer?
Can I, what?
Can I award a prize each week in an UpViral campaign?
Yes, but you would have to make you'd have to make a new campaign each go, I imagine.
Nope. Wrong.
Oh.
This is
School Mitch.
Quiz Ben time, because I know that Ben knows all the internals, but he doesn't always necessarily know how we would use it. And that's okay, because again, raising my hand as a programmer, I cannot tell you how many times I presented something to a user, coded it, wrote it up specs-wise or whatever, and they're like, what the hell? I would never do. That's not the way I use the thing. So I'm kind of tease Ben about stuff like that because I'm on the outside now, but I know exactly how he feels. Now, UpViral has the ability that you can go in and select a winner on a campaign any freaking time you want to. Absolutely, Steve, you can do that every week. You can do it every day. You can leave the campaign open. You don't have to close a campaign. You can do that inside of UpViral right now today. What I advise you to do, and you've heard me preach about this, and UpViral people don't always like me saying this, but I urge you to turn off the email that automatically goes out to a winner. There's too many problems potentially where it would automatically send somebody an email if, for example, they're a fraud, if they've been cheating like crazy and UpViral could pick them as a winner, but you want to go in and look to make sure that they are meeting all the rules and everything else before you email them. Email them outside of UpViral with your own system. That's my preaching. But yes, UpViral can do that right now today. Mark and I actually had a conversation yesterday about how we could add some additional features potentially to do evergreen kind of campaigns. There are some you can do now. There are some you can't do. But that's a topic for the future. But in terms of that, yes, you can pick a winner every day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The date, Steve's modified his question. I saw the date, so can that be modified after each prize? Nobody ever sees that date but you, Steve. Nobody sees that date but you. So don't worry about the date. The only reason you would set that date realistically is if you want the campaign to close automatically on a certain date. That's the only reason I use it. And Richard said, and don't pick the winner live while screen sharing. Bless your heart, Richard. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Don't ever do it live while screen sharing. Don't do it.
Yes, no.
Just don't do it. I have seen so many people do it, and it just makes me cringe. I mean, again, what if you pick somebody, say you've got USA only in your rules, and somebody actually lives in Thailand, so to speak, because Steve Thailand asked the question. And UpViral doesn't know that you're only doing United States rules, so it picks somebody that wins from Thailand. Now you've got to send a prize to them. Don't do that live. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's me expounding on this, because I have done it live and had these problems. So trust me, don't do it. I've actually seen Wilco do it live, and Wilco went, "Oh, wait a minute, that email address is showing." And I typed in at the time when he was doing it, I'm like, "See, that's why I tell people not to do it live." He said, "I'm going to fix that," and it's still not fixed. Because what would be really cool would be that if you could do a single page that was a live winner selection. But again, I still don't advise that. All right, that's enough ranting. With incentives, can we have an option to choose between a number of leads and points? Bless you, AJ. I've been begging for this for years. AJ, I love you. You know I love you. So what he's talking about is you know what he's talking about?
Yes. Instead of get 20 points or get 50 points if you send me 10 leads.
Correct.
Something like that.
Correct. I still consider this a game changer. I've preached to you, and I've preached to Mark, and I've preached to Wilco about it. This would be a game changer in the way people run their UpViral campaigns, and I consider it very important. Just so you know. It was, and by the way, it was once marked as in work on your spreadsheet.
Okay. Yes. So one of the updates that I'm looking in custom actions, there's a few things that I want to build out in custom actions, and this could fit easily enough within that custom action field. So it's not just share, it's an incentive, it's an action.
That's not what I want. Sorry.
Well, I know, but
okay.
It's a matter of being able to technically be able to deliver, get, on an action, 25 leads or 10 leads and get these points. 1,000 points for getting me 25 leads or similar. So it would be sort of part of that ecosystem. Send me an email on it. Send me a message on it.
Okay,
and
I will.
We'll have a discussion, Mitch. We'll have a discussion, and I'll see if what I've got planned and what you're wanting kind of fits.
Okay. I love you for being open and being willing to listen. Thank you very much. Johan, and there's two Johans here. I don't know which one it is. Hi, how is the QR code thing coming along?
I think it's from, we discussed QR codes in the last time I was on. Slowly, unfortunately. Okay. We've just had a lot of stuff pop up in front.
Right. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's still absolutely still on the agenda. It's just, we're not a big team, so.
Wilco keeps saying you're a massive team these days.
A million developers, whips and chains. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's a long road. It's a long road. It's definitely there.
There's a lot of features that could be added, and bless your heart, you're working on many of them. Thank you. I apologize too, by the way. I didn't ask you at the top of the hour if you were okay sticking around for a few more questions.
No, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I meant to do that. John T, by the way, says real referrals, not points. Yeah. And that's the side of the argument that I'm on. And QR codes, by the way, I'm one of my members is doing a campaign in a local restaurant, and they are printing out a QR code at the cash register that says, hey, enter this campaign. And so that's becoming a very popular idea. And so I'm glad you're thinking about doing that.
Yeah. I mean, look, basically you can create a QR code. You just put in your URL of the landing page.
Right.
It would work better on a landing page. You just put in the URL of the landing page to go, which is the QR code.
Right.
And that will just open the landing page on their mobile browser.
Right.
And that's the essence of a QR. So it's not too difficult to do, even just hack your way through it. So it's definitely worth doing. If you have a physical location, even with, COVID and people not really moving around, if you do have a physical location, then QR, and that is a great way of driving offline traffic online.
Right.
Yeah.
John T said, or NFC. It might be harder, isn't it? I mean,
it is a bit harder because the location would need an NFC device.
Right.
And not all phones are NFC. I don't think iPhone, was it iPhone 11 or 10 aren't NFC enabled?
The older ones aren't, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
All right, you guys have 1 minute to put in a question. If you guys have a question for Ben, I don't see any more questions that are in the queue. This is your chance to ask Ben about stuff. We don't get Ben every week like you get me. So this is a glory chance for you guys to. Oh, Daniel did ask, are you guys planning to put out more templates? Personally, I like more related weight loss / fitness.
Yeah,
Bingo.
Yeah.
Template.
What a good idea.
Yeah, what a good idea.
Yeah.
I guess the side question of that is,
when are the things going to be related to having templates going to be done so it allows you to do the templates? Or something along those lines?
There's two. There's that question, and there's the, hey, when's the new editor coming question.
There's been a lot of, I can tell you this, there has been a lot of development on the new editor, a ton of development on it, because it's been built up from the ground up from scratch. It is, as of tomorrow, it is with the back end team, which means all of the front end will have been done.
Nice.
So it's with the back end team from tomorrow. I think I'm okay to say that. So it is it's not far from beta testing. So we're not far. We're a couple of weeks, I think, from beta testing the new editor.
All right.
And then, of course, then it's just, like anything, we do a first iteration. We beta test that. We, people like Mitch have a look, and we get some other customers to have a look. They give us feedback on their experience with it. We take that feedback and we'll make some changes. And then at that point, we'll look at started putting out. So there's no set time, but there's been a lot of development, and that is moving.
Right. Yeah. So what about the other side of that question, the template side?
So, yes, with the editor comes a whole batch of new templates. Because there are functions in the editor that were not previously there. So a lot of new designs, and just making your own will be so much easier, so much prettier, easier, quicker. So yes, absolutely. There's a lot of templates for a lot of things coming out. Going back to very early in our conversation about how can we do things that that give UpViral users the quickest path to success. I mean,
Right.
we have a success metric internally. We have a success metric that we are measured on every week. Are we enabling our customers to be successful? And doing a lot of templates is driving towards that. How can we help UpViral users get as successful in the shortest possible amount of time? So that's something that I'm personally held accountable for. You know, Mark's, you know, what's the rate? What's the number? What's the number? What's the number? Like, I'm working on it.
I can see Mark doing that. I can
Yeah.
absolutely see him doing that.
Yeah, I get whipped on it, but it's good. I mean, it's having that metric means that we are constantly, as a development team, as a product team, we're constantly focused on what are the things we can do that get users that like some success early on. So.
Yeah, and I can tell all y'all that are watching, this is absolutely true because I do talk to Mark and Ben and some of the other team members, and everybody is working on those kind of things. They want things to be much easier because if you're successful using UpViral, you're going to stick with it. I mean, it's an obvious thing. They want you to stick using UpViral, and that's why we doing the Copilot show. Frankly, I mean, let's be real. The reason for doing the Copilot show is to help you guys be successful. When you people out there are successful, then UpViral's successful. I'm successful.
Exactly.
Ben's successful. And therefore, we want you to have more success. We don't want this stuff to be a secret. I mean, I know there's some internal secrets of stuff that you aren't ready to release yet. But the more we can help people build a better campaign with the reports, for example, that's why I harp on the reports so much. If you understand what the data is trying to tell you, and you can create a better contest, a better referral campaign, any of those things, then you're going to be more successful in your business, and you're going to tell people about UpViral. You're going to go, God, this is a great tool. And so that's the motivation behind doing all of this.
Absolutely. It's pretty straightforward, really.
It is. I mean, and it's not rocket science. It isn't.
No,
like people haven't. All the stuff that I do in my own business when I'm using UpViral is to help people grow their business, to grow their leads, to help them serve more people. If they're in a service organization, if they're selling things, maybe even people that are in charities. The more people that can contribute to the charity can change the world.
Yep, absolutely.
So those are the kind of things that make me excited. And this is a great way to do that. UpViral has so many ways that you can use it. Recently, for example, if you're in the UpViral group, the UpViral team took one of the Copilot sessions. Mark wasn't able to be there 1 week, so I did a session that was called 7 different ways of using UpViral. Talked about lead magnets and webinars and waiting lists. And they've taken that and shrunk it down to about 3 or 4 minutes as a teaser or preview kind of thing. But there's, even in that 3 or 4 minutes, there's gold that you guys should be using. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I get so excited about this stuff, is that it's so great to use. Steve said training videos should be no more than 5 minutes on a specific topic. Well, if it's me, it's going to be 5 minutes because I can't say anything less than 5 minutes. That way they are easily replaced when something is updated. And Peter said, check out Mitch's UpViral checklist. Well, that's all another topic. But it's hard. It's very hard sometimes to create a training thing on points, for example. Yeah. That's 5 minutes. It's virtually impossible. Now it's better now that you have the new point system, but I still would have difficulty because people have to understand the logic behind the points. And by the way, we did an entire UpViral show on the logic of picking, not an UpViral, Copilot show on the logic behind picking points. What's the best set of points? We talked about it for an hour. So I don't know that I could ever do it in 5 minutes or less.
But it's a good point. I think Steve's making there that you can just about keeping them short means that you can replace an update.
Yes.
So it's definitely something coming along. But as Mitch says, I'm similar to Mitch. I don't want to just go click here, click there. That's what it does.
Right.
Like that's what I would rather go click here, and this is why you can do that, and this is what you can, and then you end up doing 10, 15 minutes, and that sort of thing. So that said, it's still very true. Short, easy to change, easy to update.
Yeah. And it comes actually from one of my college professors. I'll never forget. And that was 6,000 years ago when I was in college. But he said, if you understand the why behind what I'm teaching you, then you will remember it forever. If you just learn how to do the how part, you're going to go 6 months from now going, how do I do that again? But if you understand the why, it ingrains it more in your system. And that's frankly the reason people want to know why they should be using the points. I mean, if I tell people, for example, to put 10 points in the first box, and now that there's just 2, 100 points in the second box, and they don't understand that they can only earn the user can only earn the first points one time, but they can earn the second box unlimited times. If I just told them what to put in there, they would never understand that second box is the absolute gold of UpViral. Those referral points are what drives the entire process of UpViral. And if you don't comprehend that, if I don't take the time to explain the why of that, then you're not going to do anything with UpViral because you won't get it.
Just quickly, in Steve's latest comment, spent an hour trying to find the custom domain redirects to UpViral. In the custom domain settings, there is an instructions tab, and that should give you the information on just the basics of how it works. It's purely for redirecting users to your landing page or having a custom referral URL, the referral to be branded, not UpViral. That's purely what the custom domain does. It's not a redirect. We're not a DNS at all. So there's not a lot you can do with it beyond just masking your landing page as your own domain.
And I'm going to tweak you a little bit. Yes, those are the facts. Those are the reasons that you could do that. But the why of it is that it's branding. And that's the key to it. I had this discussion about custom domains with Mark a couple of weeks ago. And he's like, nobody should be doing custom domains. And I'm like, time out. Custom domains, I absolutely, totally recommend everybody learn how to do a custom domain because it's putting your branding, your URL, instead of UpViral.al, which a lot of people go, well, that's Albania. That must be a scam. Yeah. I have seen hundreds of people say that I won't enter UpViral.al because that looks like phishing. Looks like a scam. Yeah. I'm not going to enter that. But if it says joesdomain.com, then and it's a contest for Joe's campaign, then people go, oh, that makes sense. I think I trust that a little bit more. And it's not that hard. The instructions are absolutely right there on the page. If you follow those instructions word for word, it's very simple to do.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, that I want to make it even easier, and with a service like Cloudflare, it will make it even easier. So even less amount of work.
Yes,
there
Steve,
would be 2 clicks.
Go ahead. I hate interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Steve says, but yes, currently mine redirects to UpViral. I believe that might scare people off. Then you're not doing it right. Steve, contact me. I will help you figure out how to do it right. Every URL, everything the user should see is your domain. If they're still seeing an UpViral thing, you haven't done all the bits yet. Contact me and we'll work it out. Because the right man to talk to. And let me tell you this, folks that are out there watching, and I know most of you are UpViral people already, but none of the other tools will let you do a custom domain for the starter price that UpViral does. Every other tool that I have seen, unless it's changed recently, will charge you $149 a month to do a custom domain. That's game changing. Absolute game changing. So if you don't understand custom domains, come see me. I will preach to you about it for an hour. No, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Mark says, does Cloudflare use domain masking?
I believe Cloudflare does allow domain masking. However, in the case of in the use case of how we'll do it, it's more about. No, it is about yes. That's yes. And sorry, I was mentally going down one road and went, nope, that's not the right one. So yeah, Cloudflare does allow domain masking because that's what we'll be doing. You go into your name server like Namecheap or GoDaddy or whatever. You put the name servers as Cloudflare, Bart and Ruth, which are their name servers, bart.ns.cloudflare.com and ruth.ns.cloudflare.com, I believe.
They have several.
Yes.
Because mine are Algin and Sarah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I've only ever met Bart and Ruth. So once you redirect your domain to Cloudflare, they'll do all the work, and then you just it will check your website. It will just go put this information here, do that, and that's all you'll need to do for Cloudflare. Then when it comes for us, you'll log into your Cloudflare account, and we will create the subdomain. We will do the redirect. We'll do the update. We'll do the SSL. We'll do the masking, all through Cloudflare as just a single thing.
Bingo.
Oh, excitement or a time to go? I don't know.
No. That's my bell of excitement.
Oh yes.
I mean, I've been very excited throughout this whole conversation.
But yeah, it really, like, again, it comes back to how can we just make it easy?
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to. You guys should be thinking about the marketing of your campaigns, not how do I set up a subdomain and then forward the IP address to get it to work on a custom. Like, that's not something you should need to know or want or have to know. It's just, it shouldn't be needed. So if I can do a couple of things, make it easier, then you can focus on marketing.
Can I give you
more success? Yeah.
And if you guys if you're still there paying attention, and most of you are, bless your hearts, thank you for being here. If you guys aren't hearing what he says and getting goosebumps about how exciting that is, then I don't say something's wrong with you, but you should be excited. In terms of that, by the way, as a feature, something I've been meaning to suggest to you, but while we're on the topic of custom domains, wouldn't it be nice that if you go into the custom domain selection, like I just created one and I just linked it to Mitch's awesome campaign, that inside UpViral, I don't have to go to the advanced settings and then pick that again? Couldn't you automatically switch those two things that are down there? Could we talk about that?
It's possible, but yeah, just message me about that. I don't think it's a major issue. I think it's more just about flexibility. Because the custom domain sits outside of the campaign, having it linked directly to a single campaign may cause ongoing issues down the track.
But it is only linked to one single campaign.
No, as in, like, you create your custom domain within the settings. So it's an account level custom domain, which you can apply to any campaign.
But only one at a time.
One at a time, yes, but it's outside. So you could finish a campaign, create a new campaign, and update that custom domain to that one as well. It's account wide. So having it locked to a campaign could potentially be.
I didn't say locked. Now I just said, because I bet you that's Steve's problem. Steve doesn't understand that he has to go into the advanced settings and select that custom domain. If I create it and UpViral simply made that happen, and I'm not saying get rid of those fields or any, I could still update it later, but people would suddenly go, oh, it's connected automatically, and they don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And it is only on a single campaign. It's not at the account level.
We can definitely have a look at it.
Okay, good.
The thing to be aware of with custom domains is they're really, apart from the referral URL, they're really just for landing pages. And we find that a lot of users are doing widgets.
Yes.
where a custom domain is irrelevant at that point. If you build a custom domain and you point it to the widget, you'll break your site.
Not true. People that build their own pages can use the custom domain to change the referral URL. Absolutely.
Yes, but sorry, I meant if you then point the custom domain at a page on your website, as you've got the widget there, it's happened. People have created a custom domain and then they've gone, mitcheswebsite.com, my competition, and then pointed that. Anyway, don't do that. It's just for landing pages and referrals. But with widgets,
it's not. But okay.
Yeah.
See, I mean, and no offense, but that's one of the things that we get a disconnect, because I definitely advise people that are using their own domains and using a widget to build a custom domain so their URL, the referral URL, is branded.
Yeah. No, that's. I was agreeing with that. That's what I'm saying.
I know,
but referral URLs.
But then, I'm sorry, but then you said, but custom domains are only for hosted landing pages, which is not true. That's what I was arguing about.
Okay, it must have broken up. I meant it's for both. It's for landing pages or referral URLs.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Not
thank
for
you.
pointing at widgets. Yeah. So
okay.
There was a point to be talking about that when I lost it.
Mark says, so can I use mydomain.com/contest? Yes, if you are building your own pages and using an UpViral widget.
Yeah.
But that would not be the custom domain that you would create. That would be your referral. It would be contest.mydomain.com.
Exactly. It has to be a subdomain, so you can redirect the subdomain. Yeah.
Correct.
And that's what using Cloudflare will be able to do for you.
Brilliant.
It'll just make it a lot easier.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, same.
That is
and
awesome.
it'll just make pages load quicker, which is nice.
Yes. And by the way, speaking of pages loading quicker, that update you guys did 2 or 3 weeks ago that caused the system to be down for a little bit, but whatever. Pages inside of UpViral. UpViral is so freaking fast these days.
Well, that's good.
Bless you. I love that update.
We actually we've moved on to Amazon. So we were with Linode. So we've just moved on to Amazon. No, Steve, there is no time frame on Cloudflare. It shouldn't be too long. I mean, nothing's too long in the scheme of things. Nothing ever takes too long. But there's no definite time frame. But I know that it is a major cause of customer pain. So it's something I want to try and prioritize as soon as I can.
Yes, and let me just rephrase that for those of you who've been around for 5 years like I have. Until Benjamin and Mark have started working with UpViral, it used to be a really long time to get anything updated. Now, these guys are kicking butt, and they are changing names, and I love these guys. So
thank you. Very kind.
And it's totally deserved. I get a little frustrated sometimes, and I apologize about that. But what you guys are doing is freaking awesome. Mark asked, does Cloudflare not work now? It works now. What he's talking about is the automation that they're going to create to link Cloudflare and UpViral. I use Cloudflare for everything right now. And yes, you can use custom domains. You just have to still do it the old-fashioned manual way.
Yeah. Cloudflare is great. Like maybe actually, Mitch, I'm giving you a whole list of things to do, but if you can remind me to write a guide on doing custom domains with Cloudflare, so we can put that in there as well. If you can remember to do that, just because Cloudflare is great. Cloudflare is absolutely fantastic. I use it. Mitch uses it. It's just the gold standard of DNS management, because most DNS providers, GoDaddies and Namecheap and stuff, they vary so much. And especially if you've got a domain that's outside of a .com, .io, .org, if you have a .asia, or if you have a something a little bit out of the ordinary, then they're not your bigger domain service providers. And their ability to do management just terrible. It's terrible. So using Cloudflare gives you the power to do literally anything with your domain, without having to have a super expensive domain provider. And so,
and it's free.
And it's free. Exactly.
It's free.
Free.
Absolutely free. Well, now, obviously, if you wanted to do more stuff, that's where they charge you, and that makes the money. But the ability for them to be able to not charge us is freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, because I mean, they do enterprise level stuff. So their enterprise customers pays for the you and me. And it's great.
All right, last chance for any questions. I'll give you a minute. We got to get going. Nobody else is asking questions, so I'm assuming we're pretty much done.
I think so.
If you have a question, type in Q really fast. I do appreciate you making time to be here. Awesome show. Several people have said as they were checking out that they loved the show today. So thank you very much. I want to be able to remind people that if you haven't purchased UpViral yet, if you got this far and you haven't purchased UpViral, you should. But there is currently a $1 offer, so you can get started for $1.
Yeah.
And I highly advise you. I think you should go do that right now. Don't
forget with the $1 trial that at the end of the trial it does convert into the full account. So be aware of that.
Yes. Next week's show, by the way, is going to be Q&A show, and if you submit a campaign, I will do my best to do a quick review. I typically take too much time on those as well, but there is a form when you register to show up here. You can ask a question or you can submit your campaign to be reviewed. Q&A week is next week, so tune in for that. Ben won't be here, but I will be here and Mark will be here, and we will be able to get through your questions. Thanks for tuning in. I love each and every one of you. Come back next week and tell all your friends that UpViral is the best tool on the planet, because Ben and his team are working on the back end and they are freaking awesome. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to say thanks. Everyone's been fantastic. Lots of great questions. Lots of people staying on for the whole show, which is great for an hour and a half.
Yes.
And as Mitch said, I won't be on again for a little while, but every time I do come on, I know I miss you too, Mitch. But every time I do come on, it's usually to announce something. So and to give a demo to stuff. So I will be on again soon with some more big feature announcements. So and releases. So
great.
And the last thing, everyone, please use the reporting. Please use the custom actions. Please send your thoughts and feelings back. And if you do use the Hotjar or something like that, and something didn't work quite as well, you don't have to give me a -5 on the. I hated this, and it was feel free to be just a neutral or a +5. There are metrics that are being used.
Yes.
But feedback, please, feedback. It helps me make sure that we are doing the right thing and we're continuing to build a good product. So
love it. Thank you so much. All right, you guys take care, and we will see you next week on the Q&A show.
All right. See you later, guys.